Coming up on this episode of Business Weekly. With the announcement that plans for the M4 Relief Road will not be going ahead, we spoke with Ben Cottam at the FSB and Sophie Howe, Future Generations Commissioner for Wales, who shared their views on the controversial decision. We spoke with leading job board Indeed about a recent survey that shows that the way we value and interact with work here in the UK may be changing. And Cardiff and Vale College have partnered with Deloitte to bolster career prospects for students. Martin Condy tells us more. All of that and more coming up. But first, following the announcement this week that the proposed M4 Relief Road project will not be progressing, business leaders from around the region have spoken to Business News Wales about their reaction to the decision. First up is Sophie Howe, Future Generations Commissioner for Wales.
Well, I think that the First Minister has made the right decision. I think all progress starts with a brave decision. I think it is a brave decision. It's obviously something which has, divided the opinions of many people. My job is to act as the guardian of the interests of future generations, and of course, those are generations who are not born yet and therefore do not have a voice. But actually, if we look back at some of the decisions that we've taken in the past, and I would say that if we look back in terms of the way in which we've had significant investment in road transport to date and over the last number of decades, and significant lack of investment in public transport, I would argue that actually some of the decisions that our predecessors made, we're actually paying the price for now, because what we're seeing is that there's not sufficient public transport in that area and indeed across Wales, and therefore people are being forced to use the road. The roads are becoming more and more congested, and unless we sort of break that cycle, that is not going to end. And so I think it's a brave decision, but I think it's the right decision for future generations.
My name's Ben Cottam. I'm Head of External Affairs at FSB Wales. I think many businesses will be very disappointed in this, although FSB oppose the Black Route solution because we feel that we need a more equitable spread of infrastructure spending around Wales, and we know that there were other solutions proposed previously that would have alleviated the congestion around Newport. So we recognise there's a real problem for businesses getting in and around Newport, and that needs to be solved. So Welsh Government now need to move very, very quickly to sit down with business to look at what the alternatives might be to the Black Route that would solve that problem. But I think we want to have a wider conversation too. Now this conversation is out of the way. Is how do we use the available spend for infrastructure priorities around the rest of Wales? Because I think we feel that for too long we've been preoccupied with the Black Route and the M4 Relief Road, as important as that is. But businesses around the rest of Wales feel the problem of underdeveloped infrastructure. So we need to crack on with a conversation about what now for the M4, but also have the conversation about what we want as priorities around the rest of Wales as well.
The Clogcainog Forest Wind Farm Community Fund has announced the area that will be benefiting from the Renewable Energy Scheme. Katie Woodington of Energy Renewables spoke to us about the wind farm project and what projects like this can bring to local communities.
The Clogcainog Forest Wind Farm Community Fund is a really exciting opportunity being delivered by Innogy as the operators and builders of that wind farm in the Conway and Denbighshire areas of North Wales. It will be an annual fund for £768,000 per year throughout the lifetime of that wind farm, which we expect to be up to 25 years. So that will represent a total investment for those communities surrounding the project of over £19 million across the project lifetime. Projects like this, so wind farm projects, bring a whole range of benefits. The one that we're talking about today is the community funds, but it's also important not to forget about some of the contract opportunities for businesses in the local community as well. For example, at Clogcainog, Jones Brothers is with a major civil engineering contractor for us there, who is literally in the local community neighbouring that project. The community funds themselves are a unique opportunity for communities. They're really flexible, long-term funding, but they also put community representatives right at the heart of decision making. So they're involved in making decisions about those income streams. Across Wales, we have, through Innogy's community funds, supported a massive range of projects. So it could be from employing a community development worker, supporting community transport projects, refurbishment of community buildings, and also projects that help local people develop training and employability skills, as well as much smaller things, but also things that are really important to local areas, such as purchasing public access defibrillators, which could in itself be potentially life-saving.
Thanks to Group Cynefin, a Melodon Residents Action Group, a shed in Melodon has received £1.2 million in development that will see it focus on providing a space for sustainable local businesses. Rachel Wheatley, a spokesperson for Shed, tells us more about the story.
Shed's been a long time in the planning, actually. It's an old railway goods shed building that has stood empty on and off for decades. Over the years, it's been everything from an undertaker's to a garage. It's been used for taxis, for storage, for all sorts of things. But originally, going back to when a railway line ran through the area, it was also used to drop off passengers and for delivering goods to and from the shed from nearby quarries. The railway itself ran until 1972 and it closed, and the sheds kind of stood over the village, really, quite a small village kind of there, but neither one thing nor another. And the Melodon Residents Action Group for the last sort of 25 years have been trying to come up with things to do to make the building more sustainable and useful for the community, really. So they approached Group Cynefin, a charitable housing association, to see if there was anything that they could do to help. And between the Action Group and Group Cynefin, they compiled an application for the Big Lottery Fund for Wales and were successful in securing funding, which was also backed by Denbighshire County Council, Gwyntamore and various trust funds. And now the shed is going to be turned into something completely different again. This is a really important development. I think, Melodon is on the outskirts of Prestatyn. It's a relatively small village, and I've lived here most of my life, and it's changed a lot over the years. And the need for kind of local shops and things like that, you don't see it quite so much, but there needs to be a different way for communities to be self-sustaining, I think, and to be able to support people within your own community.
Cardiff and Vale College have announced that they will be working with leading professional services firm Deloitte to create a new, fully funded opportunity to help bolster career prospects. Martin Condy of Cardiff and Vale College spoke to us about the New Beginnings programme.
We've partnered with Deloitte to create this programme to boost the career prospects of people in the Cardiff and Vale region. Deloitte contacted us and asked if we could help design and deliver this programme to help people who maybe wouldn't ordinarily see themselves taking up a career in financial and professional services, or had tried to do that but felt that they didn't meet those criteria. So Deloitte and Cardiff and Vale College worked together to create this employability programme to give people the technical and soft skills they needed to enable them and equip them really with the knowledge and confidence to help them progress into those careers.
Young women living across South Wales are being encouraged to apply for a chance to gain board-level experience. Helen Antoniazzi joins us to speak more on the Step to Non-Exec programme and what opportunities it presents to young women in Wales.
The Step to Non-Exec programme is a programme for women aged between 21 and 30 who are interested in becoming a non-executive director, a company or an organisation, but are a bit tentative about taking the first steps. And this is a shadowing and mentoring opportunity for them to shadow somebody who's already a non-executive director to get a feel for what they do in that role, and to get some advice and support and some practical experience as well of what it involves. The initial stage is to apply for the programme on our website, and then the successful women will be paired with non-executive directors from different organisations. They'll then shadow those non-executive directors on the boards that they sit on. They'll get some practical experience and also training on the skills and confidence that they need to apply for future positions themselves. We are a long way from parity between men and women sitting on boards, and it's not just gender equality that we're looking for as well. We're looking for women from different communities and more diverse women with disabilities, because we know from evidence that best decisions are made when they're representative of the people that they affect. So the more diverse a board, the better the decisions they make.
Outwrite PR, a North Wales PR firm, have recently achieved nominations for 3 prestigious PR awards thanks to the attention-grabbing podcast campaign in support of British and Irish Eagles. We spoke to Anthony Bullick of Outwrite PR to find out more.
So we've been shortlisted for 3 awards in total, 2 at the PRCA Awards in the Wales and South West region. The PRCA is the world's largest PR professional body, and in those we've been shortlisted for Best Digital and Social Media Campaign and Low Budget Campaign. And our 3rd one is at the UK Content Awards for Best Mobile Content Campaign. So the British Eagles is a fan group of the NFL side, the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were looking to launch a paid membership and wanted to raise its profile for that launch to be as effective as possible. We worked with them to identify a good focus for that, which was the Eagles actually coming across to play in London, which was taking place in October 2018. And our activity included a podcast, which helped us to cut through the digital noise. And we tried to offer something completely different with that content than what the Eagles fans in the UK were used to. We also had a presence in London in the week running up to the game. And that alone gave us a lot of opportunities for reactive content, for pictures and videos and interviews on international Philadelphia TV. And I think a mixture of the podcast and doing something different online, as well as the usual integrating it with media relations and social media content has helped this campaign stand out for us.
Global job site Indeed have recently released a study entitled Meaning of Work. Focusing on job seeker trends, the report found that workers are prepared to move to a 4-day week and that workers no longer feel salaries should be private. Pawel Adrjan of Indeed tells us more.
We think that the UK labour market is at a pivotal moment right now, with more people in work than ever before, and quite a strong job market with unemployment the lowest it has been since the 1970s. The survey asks about whether people are motivated by pay, purpose, or opportunities for progression. So what we did is we went out and surveyed a representative sample of full-time employees across the UK with YouGov and combined the results of that survey with some insights from Indeed's platform. Some of the key findings were that, first of all, money is our biggest motivator. Salary came out as the most important factor to people in their current roles. But interestingly, work-life balance came a close second to salary, with 55%, so more than half of the UK workforce listing it as one of their top concerns in work. One thing that we found on work-life balance is, which was surprising, is that the vast majority of people thought they could do their job to the same standard in 4 days rather than 5. And we also found that people are actually putting their concerns really into money terms as well, because people who thought that work-life balance was really important to them said they'd be happy earning £6,000 annually less than people who weren't as concerned with work-life balance.
And that's all we have time for this week. For any more business news from Wales, you can always find us on businessnewswales.com. Till next time.